Hey, mighty men of God, Joe Martin here with Real Men Connect, where we help good men become great men God's way by providing with real answers to real problems in the real world. Welcome to the Real Men Ride Along. I'm on my way back home after an intense workout at my wife's fitness studio. And I wanted to shoot a video based on something that happened today to me. I had a meeting with a friend of mine. We had lunch today, and we were discussing some deep personal issues, some of our struggles, what we were going through, and the topic came up to dealing with negative emotions. Now, when I talk about negative emotions, we're talking about anger, frustration, pain, dealing with stuff that we think is uncomfortable, that we don't like to really deal with, or even sometimes as men that we don't even want to talk about. Sorry about the glare. I'm going through some curves here, and the sun's going to be out of our way in just a second. But as I was talking to him and we were discussing about pain, we were trying to identify the pain and what was causing the pain, not only for what was going on in his life, but what also was going on in my life. Then I asked him a question, and I told him at the source of every pain, at the root of anything that causes us an uncomfortable feeling, is probably at the root of it lies fear. That there's some fear that's there. Fear is present. And the question I asked him was, what are you really afraid of? When it comes to that, I'm talking about that thing that causes us to feel uncomfortable, to experience some type of pain. What are you really afraid of? Now, what I didn't know is that's a loaded question, because later after my conversation with him and we discussed some of the different fears, and I was talking to a good friend of mine, and he had brought up the same issue. And he brought up something that I'd never really thought about. He said, most men, we kind of back away from dealing with our emotions when it comes to fear, because we don't want to admit that we're afraid of anything, because we think that saying that we are admitting that we're afraid of something means that we're weak. And we know that God specializes in making weak men strong, and the devil specializes in making strong men weak. So we have to get over our pride. But my friend and I were talking to the second friend, and we said, you know what, there's different shades or levels or different aspects of fear. And that's what I wanted to shoot this video on, because I want you to analyze some of the stress you're dealing with in your life, and some of the pain that's causing you some emotions that you don't really like to deal with, or it makes you uncomfortable. Because I realized that there are some different types of pain. So in order to deal with that fear, which we know the opposite of fear is faith, that God did not give us a spirit of fear, but power, love, and a sound mind. But before we can confess that fear and lay it at God's feet, we need to really identify the source of the fear. What are we really afraid of? What type of fear, I guess, is a better way of asking it. What type of fear are we experiencing? And I want to share with you, just throw out some types of fear. Now, check out some of the fears that he and I discussed. We said, okay, the fear that you're feeling about anything, we call it the faces of fear. Is it a dread fear? Is it a dread fear? When I say a dread fear, it's something that you do not want to do for whatever reason. You just don't feel like doing it. And so you have a fear of doing it. Now, if I want to be totally transparent with you, I give you a great example. Taxes. I have a fear of doing my taxes because I am self-employed. I run a nonprofit and a for-profit business, and typically I never get a refund check. I always owe money to Uncle Sam. So there is a legitimate fear. And so that fear is a dread of doing it. It's something that I have to do, but I don't want to do. So that's a type of fear. Another fear that we may have to find out what the source of that fear, what type of fear, could possibly be, what we got dread, could also be doubt. That whatever that thing is that you fear, that you may not be able to do it well, that you can't do it. That doubt, that, man, I can't follow through, I can't succeed at this. So that may be a type of fear. So you see how that type of fear is different from the dread type of fear. Here's another type of fear. Anxiety and worry. I call it anxiety/worry. And that's when we're worried and we're afraid of something unpleasant happening to us because it doesn't meet our expectations. And it could deal with rejection, embarrassment. It could be anything that you don't want to see happen. It's a worry and anxiety of losing your job. Fear of, when it comes to worry about someone not accepting you for whatever. You know what I'm getting at. So that worry and anxiety, that's the type of fear. It's not the same as dread. You don't want to do it. You just don't want the outcome. You're afraid of what the outcome may be. So we got anxiety and worry. What else do we have? Another type of fear. Oh, here's another one. Paranoia. Now, I'm hoping that none of you are dealing with that type of fear, but that is a real fear for some people. The fear is that somebody is out to get you, or they're going to do something negative to you. that somebody's always watching you and they're ready to pounce on you. So sometimes we get paranoid. That's a fear. Not the same as the other types of fear. What's another type of fear? We got paranoia. Oh, what about this one? Insecurity. Oh my goodness. Insecurity. Now, what type of fear is that? That's that fear that maybe we're not good enough. Maybe we're not good enough. We don't measure up. That we're going to be rejected. We're going to be, somebody's going to think less of us, that we could be wrong. Is when we're worried about what other people think about us. Now, look how that's different from paranoia. Somebody's getting to us. We're worried about what people are thinking about us. So that's a fear, insecurity. And the last one we discussed when I was talking to my friend, and this is one is most common one that we're most familiar with, is terror. Terror. That's afraid of being hurt and something's going to cause us danger, that our life may be in jeopardy, or something very scary is going to happen. And all you got to do is look at, when you think of terror, think of the phobias that a lot of people have. Now, I'm just sharing with you the faces of fear. Now, I can discuss on another video how you can deal with each one of these fears, but the video is getting kind of long, so I need to shorten this for you. But I want you to, at least when you're dealing with any type of pain, this is what I want you to take away from this video. First, ask yourself, when you experience anything, that feeling that makes you uncomfortable, ask yourself the key question: what am I really afraid of? And when you can get honest with God and the Holy Spirit, when you ask, what am I really afraid of? Then I want you to ask the second thing: what type of fear is this? What type of fear is it? Is it dread? Is it doubt? Is it anxiety and worry? Is it paranoia? Is it insecurity? Is it terror? And then from that point, we'll cover this on another video of how you deal with those. But I can tell you at the beginning, at least for now, until you see the next video that I shoot on this, is you take it to the Father in prayer and confess this to Him, and also confess it to another brother, because we know that iron sharpens iron and one man was sharper than another. So guys, I hope this, at least this topic about fear, has raised your awareness, and I hope that it bless you. And if it has, please share this video with another brother who may be experiencing a type of fear and he just can't put his finger on what type of fear it is, because this might bless him. And guys, remember, we're males by birth, but we are men by choice. So each and every day, choose to be the man that God called and created you to be, because a male is a terrible thing to waste. So until next time, be blessed, stay strong, and as always, stay in God's grip. Talk to you soon.